Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. Sometimes I feel like I've missed out on bits of contemporary music history, and today we're going to fill in one of those gaps with some Aerosmith. Apparently, they are the best-selling American hard rock band of all time, and I am a little bit familiar with two of their songs. I don't want to miss a thing because I was a fan of Armageddon and had a massive teenage girl crush on Ben Affleck. And Walk This Way because I once was part of a dance routine to that. So I have a little familiarity, but I've never actually done a deep analysis of Steve Tyler's voice, so that's going to change right now. Let's get to it.
Where are we here? Shit! Oh yeah, this is just for you. We ain't never played this song live before. For you. I think it's time we did. Crazy shit. God, you've been giving me that line so many times. It kinda looks like up keeps coming around down. Easy ways, you hear me? I'm living till the top of the devil to love Hollywood. It's all losing devil love and life for you. Look, it's good. That kind of loving makes me wanna live down the nail. That kind of loving makes a man. Darling is gay. I'm crazy for you, baby.
That last line of the crazy, that is familiar. I think I must have heard that on a radio or maybe in a shop somewhere before. That is familiar, and it's also really catchy, so that's probably why it feels so familiar. I wanted to take a clip of a live performance of them kind of early in the career so I could fill in that music history gap, essentially. And this is really interesting for several reasons right away. The way he moves on stage is very unexpected. He almost, there were times where he's shifting his weight back and forth and almost felt waddly. Not as waddly as I am right now being 9 months pregnant, but it was kind of a little, like, he definitely teeters. It's surprising. And then sometimes he has incredible enunciation. Then sometimes he's really going for a slurred approach. And then he also, when he goes up to the top, sometimes he's like screeching into it in a way that makes my ears almost feel like, I'm not sure that's good, but they've continued for a very long time, and I don't think he's destroyed his voice, so he must be doing it in a healthy way. Let's go back. Lots of surprises.
Shit! Oh yeah, this is just for you. We ain't never played this song live before. For you. I think it's time we did. Crazy shit.
Really incredible hair. Right, like kind of teetery.
God, you've been giving me that line so many times. It kind of looks like up keeps coming around down. You got to jump easy ways, you hear me? I'm living till the top of the devil to love Hollywood. It's all losing devil love and life for you. Look, it's good. That kind of loving makes me wanna live down the nail. That kind of loving makes a man. Darling is gay. Not afraid.
So look at the way when he goes up at one point, he actually he opens his mouth really far open and then spreads his lips over his teeth to get even more bright snarl out of the sound. right there.
That kind of loving makes a man double his skin. Not go crazy, crazy for you, baby. If I'm in love, there you go, crazy, crazy.
So vocally to me, that top note didn't sound like this is really super healthy, right? The vocal folds had essentially a break in it. But at the same time, I'm thinking this is also a classic sound that he's been able to recreate over years and years and years. So maybe he has found a way to create this that isn't doing any sort of permanent damage.
Packing up your stuff and talking like it's tough and trying to tell me that it's time to go. But I know you ain't wearing nothing underneath that overcoat, and it's all a show. That kind of loving makes me wanna pull down the shade. That kind of loving like I'm never, 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 never gonna be away.
Man, this feels very conflicting to me, because I think if I had a student walk in and sing like this, I would probably feel concerned. But on the other hand, I'm thinking, okay, they've won 4 Grammys. They're still plugging away. And ultimately, longevity is one of the primary indicators if a person is doing something that is sustainable. If he's doing something that is ultimately really not sustainable, his vocal folds are going to show it and he won't be able to sing anymore. So I think there must be some interesting workarounds that he's found so that this kind of sound isn't destroying his voice. I always come back to just sort of a better understanding of knowing that your true vocal folds are the ones that create the pitch. And above that are lots of different places where you can constrain and create grit or distortion in the sound. And I wonder if he's essentially constraining so much in one of those upper portions that it causes it to cut off the pitch that's being created underneath. And that's maybe why we hear the breaks. I'm not sure. But it is a signature sound that is sustainable, which I think is very, very impressive and honestly a little bit mesmerizing, a little bit like, whoa, but how? Okay, we're going to go back a little bit. Whoop. There we go. The other thing that is really incredible that he's doing is consistently emoting. He's not just thinking about emotion with the voice, but on stage, his actions, and often a really wide stance too, that can be very helpful for singing. He's clearly completely in the song, and that passion and emotional communication is becoming clear, I think, to the audience. So there's lots of good things he's doing here.
Packing up your stuff and talking like it's tough and trying to tell me that it's time to go.
The timing is really cool. The timing in that is really, really cool.
You're packing up your stuff and talking like it's tough and trying to tell me that it's time to go.
It's almost jazzy in the delivery. We have a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 kind of subdivision happening underneath, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably a 6/8, but it might be a 12/8. And he's lilting, but also keeping it conversational in the lyrics. It feels a little bit jazzy.
Talking like it's tough to try to tell me that it's time to go. But I know you ain't wearing nothing underneath that overcoat, and it's all show. That kind of it makes me wanna pull down the shade. Yeah, gonna live life like I'm never gonna be away. I go crazy for you, baby.
I also like the backing vocal there. I want to say that that's usually Joe Perry, I think, is the guitar player. I think they're the duo that does a lot of the songs together. I do think he's supporting his sound really well. You can see this in the way that he's got that wide stance, similar to the horse stance that you can see from Bruce Dickinson and Iron Maiden. And he seems really grounded with it. So it seems like the energy is in the ground. That would definitely help relieve some pressure off of the vocal folds there. And then the way that he's so involved with his body expression as well, having your full body engaged is very, very helpful for the voice. Again, that's helping relieve some of the air pressure that could just go whoosh and straight up into your larynx and smack your vocal folds. Doesn't feel good for them. Instead of having that collapse and go up, by having a really engaged body, engaged torso, engaged core, that can help reduce the whoosh up and sort of limit it so that it's more continuous and not one big massive wall of air all of a sudden. In fact, just a little bit.
Never gonna be away. I go crazy for you, baby.
I really like the songwriting. His sound also has a little pinch to my ears, meaning that it's a thinner sound, and the thinner sound with that the lips spread wide, really trying to focus it up front, and adding this grit in it, it ends up having such aggression and harshness in it. But then he's contrasting this with these really long and lyric phrases that make you want to sing along with him. So these beautiful melodic phrases sung by a voice that to me feels more pointed and aggressive and harsh. It's a fantastic contrast, and it makes me end up feeling very strong emotions that are carried through this long legato line. Fantastic. Really very, very interesting.
What can I do?
Whoa! 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 One more time. So he went up into falsetto there, continued to have some of that grit up there, and it still sounded entirely healthy too. Oh, man, it's just so interesting. I wish I could chat with him about how he came to this sound and how he was able to sustain it over the years, because again, if I had just heard this on its own from somebody that hadn't been sustaining it from years, I would probably say, I'm a little nervous about that. But this flip up into the high part is a really good indication that he's able to sustain the sound for longer too.
Losing my mind,
cool riff too. The bend with those notes at the end that make me slightly tense, but make me want to giggle it off. He has one of those voices that I don't think would work particularly well in a backup singer section. When you have a voice that is this unique and distinguished, I think it can be really hard to find a start in a career. Somebody has to be willing to take a chance on a voice that's extremely unique like this. And a lot of times you'll see singers build their careers carefully. Maybe they'll get a backup singer position first and, then sort of have little stepping stones along the way. If he was singing backup with this kind of voice, at least, and not shifting it in some way, it would just stick out so much. It draws your ear to it. So I was just hearing the backup vocal being performed in here as well. I'm thinking, oh, that's more what I expect from a backup vocal, something that is honestly just a little more traditional, because that isn't going to draw as much attention. My ear is expecting that. They want to hear harmonies from that. If we get something that has so much forward focus, so much spread and rasp, it's really extreme in so many ways, then your ear is going to think, I need to listen to that part of the voice much more than maybe what the lead vocal would be if we were switching the two in this case. Like the way he jumps up. It's good. He's nuts. He's nuts. He's crazy. Very, very suitable for this song. He's just so over the top in so many ways. You can hear that he's pushing his range on the top end of this on an ooh and falsetto. Ooh tends to feel really good in falsetto for a lot of people, by the way. Not everybody, but it is one of the go-to vowels for men in falsetto. You can hear he's pushing on that top part. And he's not caring. He's a little under, a little flat in some spots. He's really pushing it. But he's not going to worry about that. He's just like, yeah, I'm having fun. I'm pushing this. It's really fun. And he points to the other guy like, hey, yeah, you do it too. What a remarkable confidence. Lack of self-consciousness. What's going on? fry screen that he's hopping up to there. His improvisations here are just crazy. They're insane. Very bluesy. Whoa, let me go back just a little more because I thought I heard him sing an extra high note in there. Maybe it's the crowd. I think that's the crowd. Whoa. This really makes me want to read up on Steven Tyler and his vocal journey. How he's figured out this signature sound that is extreme in multiple ways and sounds to me at times like almost vocal shredding, but he has managed to sustain. I wonder how he feels that, and if there were ever any signs along the road of, oh no, don't go there, that's too close to the bad spot. I don't know. Very, very curious though. And I'm very impressed by his total confidence in delivery on stage. He's very fun to watch, incredibly engaged in his song, in his character, in his emotion. It's just fantastic. If you'd like to see some more analysis of hard rock vocals, you can check out this playlist over here. And I will see you all somewhere soon.